I came here several times with my father when I was little. But stop.
Oh, don't worry. We haven't eaten at a hotel.
In that case, I'll go order for...
Ooh, everything looks so good.
Why, of course. Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's...
And if it's not?
Well, then I'll still bring everyone.
Yeah. Sure have. Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat it like a victory feast, right?
Oh, true. Very true.
Huh? Paimon didn't mean that you had to... Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances will get caught soon?
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that's about it.
If it hadn't happened right in front of us, Paimon wouldn't have...
Right? Yet it was because this was such a
If only that guy could have finished speaking!
In such investigations, even the smallest step can seem like... To be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities might conduct. It's not that I don't have faith in their ability. It's just that it's easy to guard against and deceive a single narrow perspective, which is exactly why the Spina di Rosula exists. Those highfalutin folk are not all-knowing. That's why we...
Seems Paimon...
It's all right. Well, let's talk about something else. Like, what are your future plans?
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial.
I see. So... I've heard that there's a long line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina.
Yeah, we've heard that she's super popular here in Fontaine, and that it'll be tough getting any of her.
Well, would you consider some...
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you. Chock full.
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act. I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to see the ending, and would agree...
Could you suggest something a little more practical?
All right, here's another. Find a way to conceal yourselves under her bed. I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy, I'll do anything.
That might work, but that's not really...
Valid point. I overlooked that part. All right, no more joking around. You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false accusations.
You mean that if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Oh, that does make sense. Why don't we give it a try after this?
Huh? Paimon, did you drink my Fanta?
Was this your drink? Sorry about that. Paimon wasn't...
No, it's fine. We're just about...
All right. Honestly, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fanta anyway.
Is that so? If we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Yeah, we're stuffed. Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore. Nah, that would be so...
Okay. As for...
Hey, Navia! What are you doing?
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing to...
Let's get ready to try to meet the
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're always welcome to come... in any case, I wish...
See ya! to...
Vache.
Looks like we're back here again. Huh? Traveler? That's kind of...
Vache?
Hey, why are you still walking towards it? There might be something... Huh? Hang on. Paimon can kind of hear a voice. Hey, Traveler? Stop walking! Come on, wake up!
Vache, are you... my dear No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Wait. Who? My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land? Yes, that is what I was once. But now, I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water. I also remember going to many places. No matter where I went, Vache would go with me. But now, we can no longer go back. The pain of such... No! Our reunion no longer has any meaning. There is no way. The thought of me gives him no succor. So let it lie forgotten beneath the water. If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness. If only I could have comforted him. Told him that I did not suffer. Indeed, is that what you call it? Dissolving. It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace. I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then sees how... I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think. Farewell, then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence.
Wake up! Come on, hurry! Navi is outnumbered!
Demoiselle, look out!
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex. Chlorand? Quick, now's our chance! I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Chlorand. But before I do so...
I followed you.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called...
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will...
Do not speak!
Sorry, Demoiselle. I was not strong.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Clorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech.
Sorry,
Whatever. What else do you know?
I doubt I know much more than you. But I believe that the mastermind behind your performance tonight will almost certainly attract the...
I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, I'm shocked. And what about these garter mechs? I thought...
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party...
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league?
Yes. Be careful, and do not act...
I will continue investigating, no matter what. We will bring... Regardless, thank you for your help today.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we...
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Clorand was being
I know, I just... She's...
Oh, thank goodness! Paimon thought we were done for! Those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia... Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out to save us too! We got lucky...
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. As such, we're still partners. There's no need to thank...
It will take 50 years for me to match Demoiselle's...
If it were me, I would have joined these...
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger? You sure...
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off.
Huh? Really? Paimon contribute?
Yes, all thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake. After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I saw that the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky. Fanta only comes in sweet flavors, so how could it have tasted salty?
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the primordial sea?
Yes, so if you hadn't drunk that cup for me...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for you as we speak for...
Huh. Really?
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate, but whoever did this left no trace at all. That's when I figured out that you might be in danger, and hurried...
What? Why would they go after us too? All we did was defend Linny...
Well, you did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got their name in the Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial sea?
Well, it can't be a coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. He said that he... Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too! But it was real faint. Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it's...
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
New intel? While you were...
Well, let's hear it, shall we? Oh, that is it. Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crime scene. But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed. We will... Oh, you mean you'll help us investigate?
Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really count. And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not.
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased. You are the face of Spina di Rosula, after all.
You talk too much. Well, in that case, let's head back to what we also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bond.
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is definitely secure.
It's right up ahead, but let's make sure we weren't followed.
I've been keeping watch, Demoiselle. I haven't spotted anyone suspicious thus.
Very good. But
I shall find rooms for our respected guests.
thank you, Malus. Now, let's...
So, this is your base?
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances,
Well, our funds have been. After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often.
Seems like it's tough times for everyone. But if you have the support of the people, that...
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge.
Your father... He was the previous boss's
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to
No. I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this topic forever. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call... 3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor, instead of standing trial.
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. I'm sure he was set up. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, but strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender. 3 years later, how could he protect his honor if he's dead? The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death.
Ah, so that's why you're so determined.
That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in. However, I believe that if the murder case is related to those behind it, I must know what really happened. Was my father If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me. And now, here I am investigating his death.
Demoiselle, please. If there is anything I can do...
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet all it took was... Even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our straight...
Wait! If Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be...
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good...
But how could... never mind.
There is one other thing. Master Callus's opponent...
Oh! Her? Well, then... Isn't that as good as saying that she was the... Yeah... That's not the...
Miss Clorand has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the duel. If her opponent... She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing there was only ever one...
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but I just can't deal with this yet.
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how...
Afterward, Miss Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure... Yes, that is our understanding.
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me? All right, anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you. Even if it did sound like I was just... thanks. You two should go and rest.
Yeah!
Please, relax and get some sleep. We will...
Paimon slept, huh? Navia?
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our...
Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off your back. But never mind that. When did...
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did...
Wait, so you didn't sleep at all?
How could I after having such critical new
Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just now, huh?
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from...
Does that mean we're too late, though?
No. There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find and that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Neuvillette. A place where detailed files on all the case. If the Oceanid you met is one of the young women who went missing recently, we should be able to find.
So Neuvillette maintains an archive of case files? In that case, let's go talk to him, shall Aren't you coming along, Navia?
No, it's nothing. Let's go. The Palais is right up ahead. Come on.
Halt! Please state your business here. The Chief Justice. This place does look pretty heavily guarded.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you...
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep. Paimon can tell. If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you to...
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few...
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up.
Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official
All right, then. I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just...
Thanks so much.
Please come in.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Neuvillette.
It's all right. Please let me know how...
So you're not mad?
We're looking for a man called Vacher. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait.
Who knew that Neuvillette would be so easy to talk to?
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vacher has been involved in any case. There are no records of him either in the files or...
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
Is that so? All right, then.
Ahem. Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret...
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no... It's just like last time. After my father took... You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the kid. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing. If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you give me the power to stop him from everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express any... Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows my apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Navia, are you
I'm fine. Rain.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there's
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was
What is it? Did you think of something?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that. But didn't find anything of value. Oh? Wait.
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what...
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind...
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure this time.
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself? Great. Let's go then.
Whoa, what a huge ship!
There's no need to be so surprised. Well, my father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in a gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a... Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers. But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself...
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most... You said before that you still had some business at the court.
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really... You still remember, right, Malus? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call...
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called... At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could...
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the...
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, if you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, and if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flash... As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop...
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath. Not only that, Boss became determined to fight...
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So, recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers, and the man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate, but then we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We
Huh? How did that happen?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all over...
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now.
But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person... You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition...
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. I think this third person is On that note, however, even though our opponent is insidious and cruel, even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson, there is no need to follow your father's path.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should... Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, what was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he... Synth is still here. Callous the Unfaithful is still his epithet. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as... I've never accepted that. Ever. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girl...
Navia...
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable.
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before... But what drove all the tensions to the boiling...
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he... and the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the... If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all...
Right, so nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked, even though Boss has been...
No! I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the Unfaithful...
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, demoiselle. What Boss wanted to... If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone, I'm sure he'd be extreme.
That fool. No. He might have set up everything precisely because... Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set... But thankfully... He rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. Malus, What was the key evidence that he shared?
It's the location where Synth, when he was threatening the enemy, bossed it. But if you want to use it against the enemy,
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just...
you mustn't forget that we're fighting against a There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed.
Then, in that case, why not work...
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no...
That's true. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this.
I am the butler, after all. I live, but I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for you.
Thank you for all of that, Malus.
Let me think. One conclusion I came to is that the enemy, when I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, if the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders, after several rounds of testing and investigative the first is Florent.
Huh?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming... There's someone else like him, too. Marcel, the head of...
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now...
So, they're like a sister organization?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the Sin, it's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could
I see. These are all to think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's...
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry.
Of course. And thank you, Malus.
You're too kind, my lady. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. If it might help, you could also pay them
Aw, thank you so much, Malus.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to uncover the truth.
It is settled, then. Please excuse me, and enjoy...
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
Excuse me, miss.
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosul...
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing a...
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but on the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found...
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the city. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he tried to be as careful as he could. But even so...
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly. But Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later. I don't know that for sure. But you could say That's the... Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callus had always... Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self...
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad? Papa always wanted to be a good man.
Well, things aren't always as they seem.
Yeah, Papa was a really...
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad, regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword.
Oh.
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will...
Thank you. I'm very grateful to hear this from you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really...
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said...
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way, so please don't worry.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into what?
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with after my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like... Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callus was feeling... After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without... My first reaction was that Mr. Callus's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and... But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callus was standing over a dead...
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callus had left his gun on the table. I even made sure... But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also the gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callus ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the... But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine? And did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
About that, Malouse told me a thing or two. I'll tell you everything, once the whole truth has been...
I understand. Then, I'll leave Miss... And if I may just say one more thing. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callus. But it was Mr. Callus's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Ros... No matter what others might say. He'll always be the man I...
Don't worry. I will definitely find that you and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the... Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia?
Oh, so you've got news.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the...
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal...
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Callus did a fantastic job running the town. Building Spina, it would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly... Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these 2 friends of yours?
Yes. These 2 are my What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more. If you want to go through the original files from your phone.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you.
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by. So, if you hypothetically.
Then you think. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think, so I can promise you, those mecha were they're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, well, thank you for the vote of confidence. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support.
Hello. How may I help you?
I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say.
Sure. I will let him know.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as...
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House.
Yes, I've never seen anything so...
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me a while to recall my memory. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more, see if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need Mora. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
We've talked to all 3 suspects, purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably...
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my...
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool.
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the order and seek protection. Makes sense. But without evidence, that's... Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret...
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to...
Given everything that's happened since, it's... But who among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex? Florent? It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the best chance of learning about his deal, but as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly...
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to dispatch... Thierry, you say? But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha. I also don't...
Yeah, had he actually tampered with the mecha? If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when...
Uncle Marcel? My father did really trust him, and with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex. It's still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle... Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of Mora and energy to fight his... Who could it be? You know, if you think everything through...
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it...
Malus has always been very reliable. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs. Has the... Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle...
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes. Malus did say that charging straight in there would be... We need far more solid proof before we can...
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called...
What? Is that someone you know?
Yeah, we know him. Maybe even a little...
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had...
That's what I thought was strange about it. So, if the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible.
Right. Because they'll think they've already found...
Yeah. And it'll be a lot harder.
I understand. Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Just as expected. Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the culprit... You're right. This is our best opportunity. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up...
We'll help you, just like you helped us.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malou, Silver. When did you two get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that you might require our assistance. It's our hope that your confidence will be bolstered with the two of us by your side.
Thank you so much. Then, let's make...
See you then! Now that Navia has set out for Aranias, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over. Huh. According to Malusa's info, the synth production base is underwater. Let's go and try to find the entrance. Finally found it! Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. Ah, you're right. An important place like this is bound to have a ton of protective measures and mechanisms. Navia's probably arguing up a storm right now to stall for us.
It would appear that I must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even... However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name. In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers. When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're...
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best.
No.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to determine the culprit
That case had nothing to do with him!
Huh? What's going on?
Why is she interjecting?
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harp.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time, but that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with, and if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent.
Oh, a young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
That person is... Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières!
Huh? What confrérie? Never heard of them in my life.
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di Rosula's sister organization?
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. Committing to the charge also means taking on the legal responsibilities associated with it. And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with...
Yes.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please... Members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away. Mr. Marcel, you will not require an attorney.
Apologies. It all just happened so quick. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived, Miss Navia, please present your charges.
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago, to the case of... Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the dots.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed you? Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember, if that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a suspect?
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now.
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the... During the banquet, the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarand in the... These are the known facts about the case.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. In truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was after that, the true culprit turned the third person into... Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, however, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the... The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassin. However, in the end, he reconsidered and instead shared everything with Callus. Unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already... This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to rest. A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques but now it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could... Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve...
Ah, so that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water?
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective motive.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime.
Ah, but I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her...
Then, may I ask some questions? 1. Do you have the evidence to back up your claim?
I'm afraid not.
Boo! If you don't...
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes, again, we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all...
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would consider this to be a reasonable
Why do I feel like Farina's acting...
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself.
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent...
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. Then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been...
I've thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt that the dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important... My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to... At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and what was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my...
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been...
What?
If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter, but what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect any... Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice? But by staying silent, we retained the ability... I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me heart... And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge,
So, you mean to say...
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent, Clarand. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadow. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand, you should...
So, during the duel, did you believe that Callus...
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of... In my line of work, I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest... Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended...
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions.
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case and the serial disappearances case.
Right? What she said was fast.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearance?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a map. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And, at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone. The culprit could only time their actions so precise. Coincidentally,
So that's why you suspected me. Even after... I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most endearing traits.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said... On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing?
Not much you can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings. Ah, well, do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna...
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high... In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson, but the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot...
I do apologize, demoiselle. This was...
No, it's not your fault.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my first business? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anger?
Seems like she got the wrong guy.
At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely...
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings, but aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations right now? He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious. Instead, once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things.
This isn't just about me, and it never has been. The biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability. The people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered tragic... Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. And whose image do you see, Mark? Is it a man named... Oh, so you do know that...
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name.
I was waiting for you to...
Here, don't be such a brute.
Here comes the finale. And voila!
Go! Water jet!
Whoa! The floor is going up! Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a lot of stuff for this place. We need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up. The water level is rising! Now we can swim to the top! But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
Water jet! Go!
Don't get frostbite. Freeze! Now disappear!
Water jet!
Cool it! Let's get this show on the road!
Now the path is clear! Let's go!
Wipe out! Go!
Oh, so sorry. Dodge this!
Try not to enjoy this too much.
Go!
Water jet! Yeah! 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 Bombs away! Yeah! 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 Yeah!
After all that, we finally made it to the inner... Though, as expected, the mastermind isn't here. That's right. Then let's hurry up and find some evidence so we can get back to the Opera House and help Navi... What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place for research. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Sorry, Traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's just, how can someone write something that terrible in such a matter of... You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's why he did all of these experiments. Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. Ah, you mean Vache is the one who did all of these... experiments? So that's it! Vache was no victim, but personally took his lover and... No, that's not it either! If that's the case, why would he want people to resurface from the water? In any case, Paimon will write it... Whoa! There's so much synth here! And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the waters of... Mixing in progress. Ready to drink? Whoa! There's even fruit-flavored synth? Yep, it's super obvious. Oh, look! There's an important-looking basin over here, and it's full of water! That means this is where they make all the synth! If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth, but the Paimon will take notes on this incriminating evidence! Let's see what's written here. Nothing escapes Detective Paimon's eyes! Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation report on... Yep. This should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have not determined the exact... The old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. They're all just so... accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why are all these cute things labeled with different girls' names? Huh? You mean the girls from the serial disappearances? They were brought here? And then they were turned into water. And all the boxes of things, these names, that means... We've looked at almost everything here, and it seems like our theory... Yeah, we haven't found anything that... No wonder even Nervalette wasn't able to find anything. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera... Sure thing. Check everything carefully. Ugh. Nothing at all. And Paimon can't even find snacks either. Whoa, really? Let Paimon see. Vignier. Isn't that Vache's lover's name? Then... you found her diary! Aw, it's just a normal diary chronicling their loves. So many! A whole page's worth! But the final name she decided, Marcel. Wait, but Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vache and hey!
And whose image do you see? Is it a man named Vache? Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly...
I was waiting for you to...
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my partner.
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this court?
It's all right, Monsieur Nervalette. Given their confidence,
But the truth of it, Marcel, is...
Huh?
We've investigated your lair and we already know everything! After your lover, Vignier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to You even created Marcel as a new identity! And
so that's it. Even the villains in opera perform, and with that, Marcel's motive has...
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior time. Well, Marcel, do you know... You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as
You also never understood Boss's real expectations.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial...
Do you really think I wanted to pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with me? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, they said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So, well, Now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, you only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice. Vignier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes, but I'm not from this blasted place. So I can't beat.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Do you all see? I can't go! I can't follow! So if I can't, I did all of that. And in the end, that accursed, I spent my entire life living on pins and needles! Only
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! Vignier, please, Vignier, don't think badly.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr.
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually...
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and summarize the truth behind the serial... The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher and worked as an adventurer with his partner. During an underwater expedition, Vignier accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of... Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering... To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in... During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of... However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and after exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to... Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn callous, and just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial... However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial... Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case. The Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vacher. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse, guilty.
Guards! Take Vacher.
Good. It's what he deserves.
With that, the serial disappearances case...
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true culprit...
Yippee! We have no... He's hurt so many innocent people and now he's finally Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were absolutely...
The day our late boss had always hoped for has finally come.
Yeah. See, Papa?
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served. Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still...
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
Ugh, what now? None of this has any...
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you...
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right?
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct... The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia... We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique, guilty.
What?
Hey! That's not funny! Didn't you just say What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunction?
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice actually returned...
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just...
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't...
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale is by law. Guards, please take the suspect into custody.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
He's activating his spell legacy!
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
Hey, Monsieur Nouvelette, what's going on?
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules, all I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you looking at me? I don't know what happened there either.
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but that's impossible.
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called...
My dearest citizens, did you don't tell me. You thought even...
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty...
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. And, of course, for every performance, there is a script. Everything has unfolded If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond. All shall be revealed in time. You will come to... Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense...
So she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea. However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just...
All right. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take... After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff. So...
Water jet!
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Marcel! What are you doing over here?
Stop resisting arrest! Cease!
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vache? I erased all records of that name. So...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all... Please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the Traveler take me to the fountain.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think
Paimon agrees. Why should we give him what he wants when he's only done a ton of super...
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Of course! Wait, no. It's worth even more than my life.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spiritual? Very well.
Your Honor, I fear that...
I will go with him. You do not need to worry.
In that case...
Thank you. Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking that thing. Didn't you just drink a lot of it?
Vache!
Ah!
Yes, that's it. So you heard it too?
Vinier, it's me! It's me, Vache!
Vache?
I'm here! I'm here! Where are you?
Hey, wait! Be careful!
Vinier, is that you? It's me, Vache!
Vache? Why did you come? You look a lot older than I remember.
It's been more than 20 years. I've suffered for all this time. Only the thought of bringing you back has kept me alive. I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to tell you all? Vinier, you are my everything. I really don't know how...
But Vache, if you ask me, this world... If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become... If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And it's all because of your selfishness, Vache.
You... Wait, you are not Vinier. Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vinier. Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea. Our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea. And we were no more... I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm Azine. The only one I am not.
Why? But then...
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her... This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our... But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would despise... You are a liar, a heartless murderer, and the only thing you are not. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vinier's, she has had nothing but...
No! Yeah! She can't hate me.
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, but on top of that, she also said that because... She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to Vache. Vache? 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 Drown.
We have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
Well met, partner. I knew something.
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselles.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Navia! It's been a few days. Paimon...
Oh, now that I believe. I'm easy to...
Sounds like you're really enjoying life these days.
It's just been one thing after the other. Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never held a memorial when he first died, since everyone knew that even if we held one back then, no one was going to come. This time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people from the court, all attended.
So his name's definitely been cleared now. That's what we like to hear.
It's been the dearest wish of Demoiselle all along.
That blasted stubborn fool. Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte. Well, maybe it'd be more accurate.
Huh? So you know Charlotte too?
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina di I believe the story was called The True. To be fair, though, it was a really flattering feature. She was trying to lean on our friendship to get me...
Oh yeah, she told us about that. She's always been super...
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering...
Now that's another thing to look for.
Oh, and in other news...
Oh, are you two on better terms
now? While you were investigating Vacher's headquarters, Clorinde gave testimony on... It was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted to thank her. I mean, there's also...
Oh, that's great. Paimon also thought Clorinde wasn't actually a bad...
Anyway, now that the case has finally been solved... Oh, actually, there's...
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave and tell him the truth of what happened. As well as... And on top of that, just... That includes me.
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
We want to go too. We also think...
Sure thing. I'd like you two to share the moment with me. After all, without you...
And in that case, everyone, let's be off. Considering the recent...
Yeah, you're right. It's been raining non-stop... This is where my father's grave...
Huh? There's someone there already. Wait.
Hmm?
Isn't that Neuvillette? Why would the Chief Justice be here? Huh? Navia?
My apologies. I should have asked.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying to say there's... I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice would feel...
In that case, I will stop.
You really could use some pointers on... In any case.
Well, ever since that day, I've been turning a question. There was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans than life itself. Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic... Which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. But Mr. Callis proved me utterly, and if not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearance... Mr. Callis made the choice he did for his daughter, for his associates, and in the end, from a certain perspective, a justice that's higher than... So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callis in person. This regret has filled me with a sad... That high and mighty chair in the Opera Epiclese indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work in person.
I'm sorry. So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but pretty thoughtful on the inside.
Sorry about that.
Didn't I just say you don't...
So Navia and Neuvillette seem to have made... Let's not disturb them for now. We can wait till after... Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before. Did Paimon... Huh? Oh, Paimon didn't know that was a thing. But... Oh no... Paimon hopes Miss Nav... Anyway, Nervalette is still standing around there. It's not often that we can catch him alone like this, so why don't...
Oh, it's you two. Did Miss Navia invite you to...
Mm-hmm. We ran into Navia on the streets today, so we just...
I see. Then is there something that I can...
Well, it's pretty hard to...
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be my pleasure to return the...
So, at court, the bad guys referred to that special...
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vacher and his ilk... There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature... Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea.
Huh. So it really was where every...
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet's surface. What Vacher discovered must have been some kind of special case, or a remnant from a truly ancient age.
Huh. So that's how it is. Oh, you really...
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender... To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this world, and is there anything else? That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her Does that appropriately summarize the version you've heard?
That's right! It was Linny that told us back then!
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice. Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon...
A prophecy? Of the former Hydro-Archon?
2 parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels, and the ability of the people of Fontaine. Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite serious. If the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to...
But with Farina being the way she is...
Is there anything else you'd like? My apologies. My investigation. However, I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not...
But you also said you thought he was...
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on it. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice is integrated into it. Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also possesses other which is all to say, I have been prepared for a situation like this for a long time.
Huh. So when Linny told us that he heard a human...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could... In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology. Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret to say that the Fatui... If we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit...
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no...
Is there anything else you'd like? Your sibling, another blonde-haired traveler. If she ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure she followed our laws to the letter, and had no reason to appear. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? Very well. It was my honor to provide you with what answers I could. It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful tranquility.
You really are super busy, Monsieur Nervalette. Paimon thought...
Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so justice must work around the clock as well.
All right. Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.